Live Jump with Leader Brad.
Everybody, it's Benita. I'm back. I am back. It's been a couple of weeks since we've been together, but I'm so happy that I'm back. I have been having a rough time with my eyes and with migraines, and so I'm back. So let me do my salutations, get those out the way, and then we're going to get right into tonight's show. Thank you all for hanging in there with me. Thank you all who text or called or, send a smoke signal to check on me. I appreciate you guys so much. As you very well know, that May is Brain Tumor Awareness Month as well as Mental Health Awareness Month. And I am not shy to share my journey about both of those things. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about both of those things tonight. So welcome Facebook, welcome YouTube, welcome Instagram, welcome Periscope, Twitter. Welcome you all into the show tonight. I'm so glad to have everybody with me tonight. My YouTube family, thank you guys for subscribing. I see the numbers going up on YouTube. Y'all keep subscribing. Tell your family to subscribe. Tell everybody to go over to my channel and subscribe because there is a particular goal that I want to meet, there's a particular number that I have to have in order to do some other things that I want to do with that channel. So I need everybody to go subscribe, click the notification bell, okay? Make sure you tell everybody in your family to do it also. Make sure they subscribe. That's free. It's free, okay? Okay, so let's start with kind of where I left off last time, which I don't remember. So I think I got us up to, I know I got the story as far up to the first brain surgery. I know I got as far as the strokes. I know I got that far. So because of what I want to show you tonight, I need to go back to the strokes. So I want to show you something tonight that I just learned this year about strokes that happened in 2012 and 2015. I just saw something or found out something this year about those strokes. And another one happened in oh gosh, when was that? I can't remember, but it was more Bell's palsy. And Bell's palsy is it's like a stroke of the face where you wake up and your mouth is kind of like that, twisted, like that. That's a form of a stroke, like a face stroke, if you will. So all of those things combined, I figured because I was recovering so well, it didn't do any damage or what have you. But sometimes because we are not as educated on things as we're supposed to be, we just don't know. But I just this year got a neurologist because I've only been seeing my neurosurgeon and my primary doctor was actually treating me for the migraines. And because they've gotten so bad, she was like, well, maybe you need to go see a neurologist because of all that you have going on with your head. And so she referred me out to a neurologist, and he took one look at my scans. He pulled them up in his system or whatever. And he showed them to me. And And to tell you the truth, from my recollection, that was the first time I had seen my scans. And so what I saw was a bit overwhelming. And what he was describing to me was even more overwhelming. And he could tell I was overwhelmed because the more he tried to explain to me what was going on, the more he saw, like, I guess a bewilderment or a befuddlement on my face. So he was like, this is your first time seeing these scans, aren't it? Isn't it? And I'm like, yeah. And because my surgeon usually don't show me the scans. He's like, as long as this thing is quiet, it's not moving, we don't see it, as long as it's stable, we're good. See you next year. So he doesn't go through all of that with me. My neurologist, on the other hand, because he has to see me more frequently because of the migraines, on my first visit, the first thing he wanted to do was take a deeper look inside the brain and see what was going on, see what could be causing me to have these, these excruciating, we call them debilitating migraines. Like, I had a migraine a couple of months ago. 3 days. Lasted 3 whole days. No. I'm not talking about Monday. It came and then it went away. Tuesday, I had another one. Went away. Wednesday, no, not like that. I mean, it came on Monday, stayed on Monday, it stayed on Tuesday, it stayed on Wednesday, and then like Thursday or Friday, it left. So that means I was in the bed for 3 days, had to stay in a cold, cool, dark room. Only time I would get up to get something to eat. But I had to stay in my room because I couldn't be exposed to any light. So that's how bad my migraines are. And of course, with the migraines, I have a lot of, get nauseated a lot. So that's no fun. So during the times I have those kind of migraines, of course, I'm not eating. I'm not eating properly and things of that nature. So my primary felt like she really needed to, relinquish her small knowledge of migraines and turn me over to a neurologist. And I'm so thankful she did that. And I promise you, she could not have given me a better neurologist. Well, she gave me the referral. I actually found the neurologist. I had gone through a couple of them, and I didn't feel kind of comfortable. Just, how you can call a doctor's office and you kind of get a feel just by talking to a receptionist or maybe talking to their scheduling nurse or something. You kind of get a feel for, how things are run. You kind of get a feeling for, I don't know, you just get a feeling. And a couple of them I called. I just, I just got that feeling. And so I kept calling until I found the one that I see now. And this guy, 10 toes down, knows his stuff. And so I went to see him January, March, April. What's that say? In April, I think, the end of April, I saw him. I'll see him again on the 6th of June, which I think is my mom's birthday, on the 6th of June, I believe. I get her and my baby sister's birthday mixed up. One is on the 6th. The third one is on the 6th. But I think my mom's is on the 6th. I don't know if any of my sisters watching, y'all could tell me, is mom's birthday on the 6th or is her birthday on the 3rd of June? So I go back to see him. So here's what happened. All right. So I have some of my scans uploaded to show you guys. But Some of you may understand it, some of you may not. I'm going to do the best I can to explain it. Okay, that must be my sister watching. So my mom's birthday is on the 3rd. Thank you, other mother. That's my big sister, I bet you. And my sister, my baby sister, her birthday is on the 6th. So then that means I go back to my neurologist on my baby sister's birthday. Okay, so I got it. So my mom's birthday is on June the 3rd. That's the weekend my daughter is going to be taking my granddaughter to Florida for summer break. Okay. And they'll be traveling to Florida. I'm not going. Because I'll be getting ready for the 2 surgeries that I got coming up in June. And the way I get ready for surgery might be different than what other people do, but I have a system, and if I break my system, y'all do know I have adult ADHD, don't you? Okay. Well, if you don't, that's another show. I'll tell you about that later. And I'll tell you how I got diagnosed with that. And I know a lot of people be like, oh, she just be telling all her business. Child, you don't know all my business, trust me. You know what I want you to know. So when I was having the strokes, each time I would have a stroke, I had to go through rehab. I think I shared with you guys how I would be strapped to a walker so I wouldn't fall, of course, because I had a right brain stroke. So if I have a right brain stroke, that means it affects the left side of my body. If you have a left brain stroke, it would affect the right side of your body. Okay. So that's how the brain works. The brain works like that. Right brain, left side of the body. Left brain, right side of the body. Okay. So I had a right brain stroke. Okay. And because I had a right brain stroke, it affected the entire left side of my body, which means that even when I walked into the hospital, the time that I had the stroke, when I was asleep and having the stroke, I didn't know it. Remember I told you when I got to the hospital? Remember I told you that the triage nurse, she was like, smile. I told you I smiled. She told me to do something else. I did it. She told me to lift both hands. In my mind, I did it. And remember I told you guys that right after that, she goes in the back. She comes back with a wheelchair and a doctor. And I'm just like, I did everything you asked me to do. Like, what is this? Well, unbeknownst to me, she said later on, she said that when she told me to lift both hands, she said only my right hand went up. And I'm still thinking to myself, no, I lift both of my hands. And it took her a while to convince me that both of my hands did not go up. And she asked me, she said, you didn't feel the heaviness in your left leg or left side at all? I said, no, I didn't feel anything. She said, I watched you walk in the hospital on your own. I said, because I felt fine. But she said, you walked in the middle of a stroke. You were having a stroke when you walked in. She said the stroke had to have started while I was asleep. And I don't know what else people want me to tell them. I'm not going to ever change my story. My story is going to always be the same. I was asleep that night. No one was home with me. I heard a voice say, Benita, get up. You're having a stroke. I looked around. There's no one there. So I go back to sleep. Later on, I hear a voice say, Benita, real firm this time, get up. Now my bed is shaking. I don't have no choice but to get up. I open my eyes. There's this silhouette of a man standing at the foot of my bed, shaking my bed, telling me to get up. This time he gives me play-by-play instructions. He says, get up, get dressed, call someone, take you to the hospital. You are having a stroke. I got up, I got dressed, I called someone to take me to the hospital. When I got to the hospital, the nurse asked me, what did I need? I told her specifically, I was at home asleep, and I think I'm having a stroke. My story is going to stay consistent because that's what happened. And, sometimes people say stuff like that, make them sound real deep. Child, I don't have nothing to prove to nobody. That's my story. That is my truth. And because, see, we can pray for the supernatural. We pray for miracle signs and wonders. But then when God shows it to us, we got a problem accepting it, particularly if it's not through us or if it's not through someone we like. Be that as it may, God is still who he said he is. And so that's going to stay my story. That's going to stay my story. I'm not going to ever change that because that is, in fact, what happened, And so that's what I told the lady at the hospital. Something woke me up and told me I was having a stroke. And she said to me, you had to have started having this stroke in your sleep. Had I not awakened, she said, I probably would have died from a stroke that night in my sleep. No one would have known. I just slept away. So that was the first stroke. Went through rehab. I had to even learn how to formulate sentences again. I couldn't remember my alphabet past maybe G. I cried a lot during that time because here I am. I have a legal degree and I can't remember my alphabet past G. I can't remember my numbers past when they got too far in the double digits. Like I said, I cried a lot. I became really depressed. I couldn't remember sequential order of numbers, particularly phone numbers. That was the worst for me. And thank God I had some really good ministry colleagues that knew, not a lot knew, but the ones that did know, they covered me exceptionally well. Like if I had to do scripture or something like that, we would go in the office, they would find the scripture for me, write it on a piece of paper, then stick the paper in the Bible where the particular scripture is. And then right before we would go out, they would ask, you remember what scripture it is? And I said, yeah. And then I could just get up and read the scripture because they already have it marked for me. So I thank God that I've been really blessed in ministry to always have been covered in that way. So then the second time, same thing happened. Had to go back to rehab. Now, keep in mind, this is when they first discovered the brain tumors. So now I'm dealing with these strokes. Now I got this brain tumor they discovered and no insurance. Remember, I shared that with you. Fast forward, second stroke happened. Got to go back through rehab again. And I always had right brain stroke. So that means it always affected my left side. Okay. Each time I had a stroke, right brain stroke affects the left side. Okay. And let me tell you something about that. Most people say, well, I've seen you walk. You don't walk with a limp or anything. I've seen you at church. I've seen you da-da-da-da. You have never seen me wear flats. Let me tell you something. You've never seen me wear flats. There's a method to my madness. And the reason why you've never seen me wear flats, because that's when you can kind of see that my left leg does not move all the way like my right leg does. But when I wear my stilettos, my heels, I don't have a problem. You can't tell a difference. So because my stilettos, for whatever reason, they balance me out. So when people say, why you always got to dress up everywhere you go? Mind your business. That's my business, because there's a method to my madness. Now, of course, I wear tennis shoes when tennis shoes are applicable to wear, of course, but my choice is to always put on a nice pair of heels, even if I'm wearing jeans or what have you, and that's because it balances out my steps for me. Okay. So, and plus, I just think I look good in heels anyhow. So, I learned different techniques to cope with some of the after effects of the strokes. Okay. I had to learn different techniques. I had to learn different ways to remember phone numbers. I had to learn different ways to, not be so hard on myself for the things I couldn't do anymore. It was hard. It was hard. And at the same time, I'm fighting depression because I'm feeling like, well, dang, this is not fair to me. I've been serving ministry since I was 14 years old. Like, how this happened to me? So I never saw any of my scans. I got the disc, all the discs, I have them, but my computer is so old. Those discs don't play on my computer. I'm supposed to be getting a new one. So hope everything goes through with that. So, then I could play the disc and look at my scans, because every time I have a scan or MRI, they give me the disc. So I do have them all, but I can't play them on my laptop because my laptop is so antiquated. So, but I do have some images that the neurologist let me take from his computer when he was showing them to me. I think I went in April. It had to be the beginning of April, because he said, I'll see you in 10 weeks. In 10 weeks, let's see, April, May. It had to be the beginning of April, because he said 10 weeks, and 10 weeks would put me at June 6th. So that would probably be somewhere around the first week in April, right? Y'all tell me if that's right or not. So, the first scan he showed me where the tumor is. He showed me how big it is. And then he said to me, he said, I'll be right back. So he goes and he brings two of his colleagues in the room with us. And he asked me, he said, you don't mind if I show you off? So I'm thinking, no, show me off. Like, what's going on? So he goes, this is not the biggest tumor of this type that I've seen. He said, but it's definitely in the top 5 that I've seen. Well, one of the doctors comes in, she goes, wow. And my doctor goes, you probably shouldn't have said that in front of a patient. He said she's already nervous enough. And I laughed a bit because he had already explained to me what was going on. And so I'm going to show you that scan first. And I'm going to do my best to try to explain it to you the way he explained it to me. Now, if I have some medical professions watching and I sound like I don't know what I'm talking about, that's my business. So, because I'm going to say it the way that I understood it best. Okay. So, all right. So let's go to the first. Let's go over here. Let's go. Hold on. What is that doing? Let's go over here to the first scan. Get my mouse to act right. Go here. Let's see. Oh, hold on, guys. I went too far down. Okay, here you go. Okay, I wanted to show you guys something, and I hope you can see it on here. You may or may not be able to. Okay, so this is the first picture after my first stroke. You can see my face is still a little twisted on this one. Let me see if I can pull this one. See if you can see that one. Should be coming up any second now. There it is. So on that picture, that was my first stroke. I don't know if you can see it or not, but my face is still kind of not all the way back yet. That's my daughter who passed away. She had come from Atlanta after I had my first stroke. I think we were all out to eat or somewhere. But that's me after the first stroke. Let me see, can I find another one? Hold on. Oh yeah, I got some right here. All right. This is me when I was in the hospital. I can't remember which stroke this was, but you see my grandbabies came to see me, and we were taking pictures. Now, these pictures were taken in Warner Robins, Georgia. That's where we were staying at the time. We were living there at the time. Let's see. Oh, this one, you can see it real good on this one. Look at my face on this next picture. You can see it really well on here. I think you can. Yeah, you can see it much better on there. So I think that was after the second stroke. You can see it really, really good on there. My face is still kind of one-sided. So, and let's see. I was in the hospital, I think a week or so each time. And from there, I had to go to rehab each time. So, hold on. So I had to go to rehab each time. So, and let me show you what I did. If I knew then what I know now, I wouldn't have done that. And I don't advise anybody to do that, because I think sometimes in Christendom, we think that we have to prove our loyalty. We have to prove our commitment to God by pushing the envelope just to see how far we can go without wrecking ourselves, our homes, our bodies, our marriage, our relationships, all that stuff. It's like we got a point to prove. And I know a lot of people had something to say when I announced, I think last year and this year, that I retired from pastoring, retired from preaching, all of that. I will only do seminars and workshop, anything in a teaching mode, but not preaching. And I said that because even after having those strokes, I was still doing ministry, still pastoring. I was still just going. So I got out the hospital on Sunday. This is me Monday. You say, well, what are you doing there? I'm actually I'm standing inside of the building that would later become the building where I planted my church in Warner Robins. I wish I could blow it up so you could still see my face is not all the way back to normal. But here I am, not even 24 hours out of the hospital, and I'm taking care of church business. I wouldn't do that again. I wouldn't do it again. And after that second stroke, here I am picking up the keys to that same building. I thought I had zoomed in on my face where you can see it. My face still was not back to normal at that point. Let's see if I got it closer. I thought I had a close-up shot of my face where you could see it. But if you zoom in, or how you zoom in, you'll be able to see my face is still not, back to normal. This is after the second stroke. Here I am going right back to work in ministry. I didn't take any time off to heal, or, I was still rehabbing because I had to, I was still rehabbing because I had to keep going. So, all right. So all of those pictures I just showed you were pictures of me after those two strokes. Okay. And like I said, if you have a right brain stroke, it's going to affect your left side. If you have a left brain stroke, it's going to affect your right side. Okay. All right. So let's go look at the scans. Is it this one? Let's see if it's this one. Now with these scans, okay, so I don't know if you can see. You can't see my pointer. Oh man. Okay. Wait a minute. No, that's not gonna let me do it. Okay, so there's an area. Do you guys see this white area right here? You can't see my pointer. I have a pointer on it, but you can't see it. But do you see what that white area is? So that's like me lying down. Okay. Let me go up here and show you how they got that image. Hold on. Okay. So you see this angle right here? See that angle right there? Okay. So from that angle right there, when I go back to the other, you're actually looking at the angle from the top of my head. Okay. All right. So let's go back down here to the, is it this one? All right, let's go here. So So if you're looking right up at the top of my head, you see what that white area is? That white area is an area from the strokes I had. Now I just found this out, and if I find that I tell you the wrong thing, most certainly after the 6th, I'll come back and I'll correct what I said, okay? But what I can remember and what I understood he was saying, the white area is where the strokes damaged my brain. That is irreparable. That is irreversible. That is what's called permanent brain damage. All right? That is permanent brain damage. See that white area right there? That's the first scan. And as you can see across the top, they showed me a lot of different scans, but let's see. So this one is almost the same as the other one, but it's just a little bit more, you see a little bit more of the damage. So, like I said, that white area is the permanent damage that the strokes left behind. Let me go down, see, can I find the tumor for you? Now, these are just some of the scans. I'm not going to show all of them to you. I'm just going to show you maybe 3 more. Let's see. Now, you're looking at pictures of my brain, okay? I'm trying to get to the one where where I can show you the tumor. That is the top of my head again. If you can see the circle in the middle is where the permanent damage is. I don't mind sharing that information because a lot of times when you hear permanent brain damage, we normally think of someone who is disfigured and all of that stuff. So you don't have to be disfigured to have permanent brain injuries or permanent brain damage and things of that nature. Oftentimes people have trouble accepting my story because they say, well, you don't look like that. Okay, I don't know what you want me to look like. I'm going to look like me. And as long as God's grace is sufficient for me, that's what I'm going to take care of, Benita. Okay? So let's see. I'm trying to find the one to show you all where the tumor is. I got 2 scans left on here. I didn't put them all on here. I just put enough on here to show you. Oh, there it is. There it is. Okay. So you guys see where that white dot, right above that white dot, that is the pituitary. Okay. That's what that is. Now, before, let me see if I can get you a better angle. Hold on, let me go to this next scan. Let's see if this one's better for you. Oh, yeah, much better. There we go. Okay, so now what you're looking at now, you're actually looking at the tumor that's inside my brain. That's what you're looking at now. And I wish you could see my clicker thing, but I can see it on my screen, but you guys can't see it. Okay. Instagram, y'all okay? All right. So the picture, I wish I don't know how, if this thing got pointers on it. You know what I'm going to do for next time? I'm going to circle where the tumor is and then upload that picture. And then next time I'll be able to show you exactly where it is. But me trying to tell you without you being able to see where my pointer is. Okay, you guys, on the first picture, do you see where the small white dot is? And then, how can I explain this to you? On top of the tumor is right there. If you come over, it kind of looks like a body almost. You see, because it's like a body and then the head. You see where the head of the body would be? That's the tumor. That's the tumor in there. So, and if you notice, it's behind behind you see how close it is to the optical area? So that's how come this type of tumor has the propensity to diminish your sight over time. And that's what was happening to me. So I had lost all my peripheral, and then I was losing my frontal vision as well. So I while you guys are looking at that, I'm trying to find something for you right quick. Oops. So, but right there, it's a little white dot. Next to the white dot is it looks like a body, and then the head on the body. Okay, so that's where that's the tumor itself. All right, so that's the pituitary gland. So before the tumor, I didn't even know what a pituitary gland was. I hope everybody got a good look. So I'm going to take this off so I can talk to you and explain to you a little bit about what's going on. Then I'll show you again before I close out. So before all of this, I had no idea what an endocrine. Listen, I didn't even know we had an endocrine system. So the pituitary gland is sometimes, listen to this, is sometimes called the master gland of the endocrine system. Because, listen to this, because it controls the functions of many of the other endocrine glands. The pituitary gland is no larger than a pea and is located at the base of the brain. So, what is the main function of this gland? Well, let's see. The main function of this particular gland is to maintain sociological balance within the body. It also handles how your body secrete chemicals called hormones, and it also handles how they communicate with various other organs to achieve balance in the body. Okay, who knew? I didn't. So let me see if I can give you a little bit more information. let's see. Okay, so what does the pituitary gland affect? Well, it controls your metabolism, it controls your growth, it controls your sexual maturation, it controls your reproduction, it controls your blood pressure, and many other vital functions and processes in the body. Um, what happens if this particular gland malfunctions or stop working properly? Headaches, problem with your vision, severe cases of nausea and vomiting. I got all of them. Right now in my purse, I have to carry a bottle of Odesitron. And anybody knows that is for nausea. Um, let's see. I see a comment up here. Let's go to the comment section. Thank you. Thank you. So let's see. Let's get a comment. Let's show a comment here. Thank you so much. Thank you. Oh, bless you. That's so kind of you to say. Thank you. Thank you. I was just talking about learning how to do my makeup myself. Thank you. That's so kind of you. Thank you. I think this one is my sister. That's my sister, y'all. Okay, so I have to carry with me a bottle of, I have to carry my bottle of Odesitron with me because with or without a headache, but mostly with, it's easy for me to become nauseated, especially since I've had, oh, okay. Hey, sweetheart. That's my granddaughter's friend. Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe, okay? And tell your parents to subscribe to my channel too. Thank you. How do you say your name? Fresolina? All right, I'm going to give you a shout out, Fresolina. Thank you. I'm going to give my big sister a shout out, Geraldine. Well, we call her Deanie. Sometimes I call her other mother. Thank you guys for watching. So hold on. So the pituitary, when it starts to malfunction, it causes these. Let me tell y'all something. The way I explained it one time to my bishop, I was having such a bad migraine at church one day. I went outside and Bishop followed me outside. And he started asking me questions. And this is how I explained to him how a migraine feels. I said, Bishop, if I laid down in the middle of the road and an 18-wheeler drove over my head, that would probably feel better than it feels right now. He said, my God, Nita. That's what he said. He said, my God, Nita. That's how bad my migraines get. Like, I mean, like, Lord, I'd be like Fred Sanford, Rivia, I'm coming to join you, baby. I'll be talking to my daughter. I think I'm on my way. That's how bad my headaches get. But so it causes headaches, problems with vision, and severe nausea and vomiting. I could be doing fine, probably eat that much food, and boom, out of nowhere, it comes back up. Listen to this. It also has causes fatigue, sexual dysfunction. I ain't gonna comment on that one. Changes in your body composition, your appearance or weight. That's why it was always so hard for me to lose weight. And I didn't know why. So, thank God I never had to, and I'm not now, I've never had to be put on any kind of hormone treatment because of that. So, so how do you keep that particular gland healthy? Now, this is the part I want us to focus on, and then I'm gonna show you a few more things. So, in order to keep your pituitary gland healthy, these are some of the things I know you guys see me do all the time. You're going to see me do some of them tonight. We're going to have the after show party, but that's only for YouTube. The after show party is only for YouTube. So if you have not subscribed, you have to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Just go to YouTube, look for Live Talk with Bonita Bradley, click subscribe, notification bell, and then you'll be invited to the after party show. All right. So tips for keeping your glands healthy: eating a diet rich in fruits and vegetables, which are a great source of fiber, vitamins, and minerals. You guys know I live by that. Choosing good sources of fats, such as those that contain omega-3 fatty acids and monosaturated fats. Those are your avocados. Oh. I got some things. I'm going to show y'all what I did with some avocados, honey. You're going to be like, that ain't no avocado. Yes, it is. Also, opt for whole grains over refined grains, and reduce your sodium intake. They have so much now that you don't have to have a whole lot of sodium. When I cook, I like to allow the vegetables to season one another. Like, I love cooking with red. I don't know why they call them red onions when they're actually purple. Anywho, red onions and bell peppers. When you put those two together, you need very little seasoning because they season each other. Okay. So I like to allow my vegetables to kind of play off each other and season each other. Plus, it's pretty when you got all those different colors of vegetables and stuff in there. Okay. So one of the main disorders of the pituitary is developed pituitary tumors, most of which benign, thank God. Although they are benign, they still causes blindness, all the problems I said, migraines. They still cause a lot of problems. Let's see. So, when I do a YouTube only show, I'll tell you some other things about the pituitary gland and when it goes to, when it malfunctions, some other things that it causes, especially in women. All right, so let's look at the organs that your pituitary gland controls. All right, everybody want to listen up to this one. This is why this is called the master gland in the body, okay? The pituitary gland is referred to as the master gland, watch this, because it monitors and regulates many bodily functions through the hormones that is produced. All right, here's the list. This list includes your growth and sexual reproductive developments and functions. That's a whole lot right there. I'll say it again. Your growth and sexual reproductive development and function. All right. Glands, your thyroid gland, your adrenal glands, and your gonads. I'll repeat that. It controls your glands, your thyroid gland, your adrenal glands, and your gonads. All right. Are you ready for the next one? The organs that the pituitary gland controls: kidneys, the uterus, and breast. Okay? So when that one gland malfunctions, it throws your entire body into this whirlwind. Because remember, you got hormones seeping all through your body, all right? Your hormones are seeping just all through your body, but that gland is so jacked up in there, you can't control your highs, you can't control your lows. Your whole body is just completely out of whack. And you don't even know why. You don't know why. You have no idea until you go see a specialist that knows exactly what to look for. All right? Now, there have been some people that have had this type of tumor and did not live past 5 years or so with it, even if it was benign. Again, because it controls so many other parts in your bodies. Your kidneys, think about that. Your kidneys start malfunctioning, you're going to be in trouble. Your thyroid gland, who wants to have to deal with an unhealthy thyroid gland? You know, that will definitely throw you out of whack. So there's been a lot of people that have lived a long time, even without having surgery. And then there are some people who don't live a long time because even though the tumor is benign, it starts to affect other parts of the body. And depending on if they've taken care of themselves, a lot of times that depends on how your body can fight back on things, you know. So sometimes I look at myself and I thank God, you know, I really do. I've been through a hell of a lot, you know, and it didn't just start when I started having strokes. So, but I've always tried my best to eat right, get in some kind of exercise, de-stress as best as I could, absolutely take care of my outer appearance, and I mind my own business. You know, if it don't concern me, I'm not going to get too vested in it, you know. But now if I'm doing a story or something, that's different. But I'm just talking about minding somebody else's business just to be nosy. I don't do that. I take 6 months to mind my own business the other 6 months to leave your business alone. My year all booked up. See what I'm saying? So um normally, it's like when I had my first surgery, it was supposed to be at least 5+ years before we expected to see anything coming back. Mine didn't quite make that 5th year all the way. So it came right at the end of that 5th year, because I had the first surgery in December 19th, 2016. And then I had the second surgery April something 2021. No. October 2021. Yeah, October 2021. Because 3 weeks later I hemorrhaged and I had to stay in the hospital so long, they let me come home right before Thanksgiving. So I remember that. So it was October 2021 when I had the second brain surgery. So from December 2016 till October 2021, that was that stretch of time that we had hoped that it would not come back that soon. But it did grow back. But this time it started growing back in a really compromising, it wasn't in a compromising position before, but when it grew back the second time, it was really, really in a compromising position to where we couldn't to fool around with to try to shrink it. And all this time we didn't have that kind of time. So because it was bigger and it was taking up more space, and we just didn't have the time that we had first go around. So we had to get in there. And I think I shared with you when the doctor told me about it. Let's see if I can find it. Let's go back to it while I'm talking about it. I think this is it. Okay, y'all don't mind if I put this up while I'm talking. It's just going to block my face, but you'll still be able to hear my voice. So we were watching it, but we didn't expect for it to come back. Certainly didn't expect for it to come back and start growing in a different direction the way it did. So I think I shared with you guys that we had to make a decision rather quickly. This was in September, the beginning of September, maybe the second week or so in September 2021, when that was my annual scan time. And he said, well, your scan, the tumor has grown back, and it's growing back in a very dangerous direction. And we got to get this one out. We can't afford, time is not on our side. That's what he said. Time isn't on our side this time like it was before. He said, because it kind of was like leaning in a direction where he said it will really be compromising to my health if we didn't get it right away. So the area right there where I showed you, I wish you could see my clicker. The area right there where I showed you where it looks like, let's see, is that the right one? Let me see if this one is. Hold on. Okay, that's it. All right, so remember I showed you where, see the white dot on the one where you can see my nose and all of that? The one that looks like a picture of a body with the head sitting on top of it. So that's the tumor. That's the pituitary area, all of that. So it was growing back in a really, really compromising area. And so I think I shared with you guys how when he told me that in September, I was like, well, okay, well, let me go home and pray about it and see, look over my schedule, see what's what. So he was like, okay, well, hold on a minute. So he leaves out, he go check his notes, and he come back. He said, basically, he was like, you got a date yet? I was like, well, I was going to go home and, pray about it and then let you know. He says, oh, no, we don't have that kind of time. He said, you need to let me know now. And I'm like, I mean, is it that bad? He was like, with your history of strokes and this tumor, we don't have the luxury of time on our side. So I was like, well, I mean, whenever you think it's okay. So he was so his PA, she was like, well, you're going to be on vacation the end of the month, and you come back this time in October. And she said, I'm going to put you as his first surgery. When he comes back, he'll be fresh, mind will be clear. You'll be the first surgery he does when he gets back. Cool. When is that going to be? October. I'm like, that's in like 3 weeks, So I didn't have a lot of time to prepare for the second surgery. Let's see who this is. It's got to be another one of my sisters. Let's see. I bet that's Bernadette. She don't want to call me little sister. I can't see the names, but if that's one of my blood sisters, it's got to be Bernadette. Oh, Jan. Hey, Jan. Oh, that's my other big sister. So time wasn't on my side, guys. So I tried to stretch it out, and he was like, oh, no, we got to get this thing out now. So I was like, okay. Now, the first surgery, like I said, I was a G, This time around, not so much. Not so much. So, let me see. Can I show you? Let's see. Can I? Let's see. Oh no. Let me see. Can I pull up the thing for you? I did want to give you guys this information on strokes. I'm going to put it up on the screen. You can screenshot it or take a picture of it. I'm going to leave it up for a few seconds so you can see it. Okay. So I wanted to put this up here because this is where it all began for me. My journey began right here, having strokes. That is how they found the tumor in the first place, because I kept having strokes. And screenshot this information, take a picture of it, whatever you have to do. But make sure you have this information so you can notice the signs, the symptoms, or what have you. And so you can act fast enough, maybe to get yourself or your loved ones to safety, or you can call 911 or what have you. It's called FAST. Your face, your arm. Remember, I told you the first stroke I had. Remember, I told you that when I got to the hospital, the nurse told me to raise both arms, and I thought I did, and she said that I did not. She said I only lifted my right arm. So where you see it says arm. Well, let's start with the F. F says face. Ask them to smile. Does one side look like it's drooping? Remember, I showed you here. Look at this picture of me right here. See that? See how my face goes to one side? Okay, that's what they're talking about when they talk about the face, one side drooping. Drea, can you give me another drink? All right, so now let's go to the arms. So it said, instruct them to raise both arms and look to see if one goes downward. So, and that's what happened to me in the hospital. I didn't recognize it at the time. And like I said, to me, I lift both my arms at the same time. But according to the nurse, I did not. So the next one is speech. It says, ask them to say something. Does it sound right? Well, my speech was slurred, but I couldn't hear it. I sounded normal. And to you or to someone having a stroke, they're not going to hear a difference, okay? They're not going to hear it because to them, they sound normal. And then time. If you observe these symptoms in yourself or your loved ones or you're around someone, dial 911 immediately, okay? All right, make sure you got a screenshot, take a picture of it, what have you. All right, we'll move on from that. And so also, one of the other things that kept happening, I was in yoga class and all of a sudden I kept losing my balance. I was real good too. And I started losing my balance, and I was like, nah, I'm better than this. I had been doing it for a while, and I'm like, now all of a sudden I can't keep a pose. I can't keep my balance, and this was right before the stroke started. So there were some signs leading up to me having the stroke, but I never would have thought that when I started losing my balance in my yoga class, that was going to end up with me having strokes. I didn't put the two and two together. I mean, like, why? Why would I be having a stroke? I was in the gym. I was doing yoga. I was healthy, like, why? So I started losing my balance, and the moves I had perfected in yoga, I started messing up on them. I was getting frustrated, like, dang, like, what's going on? And shortly after that started happening, that's when I started having the strokes. And so I remember one time, my daughter and I, we were in Home Depot. I never forget. We were in Home Depot, and I was walking. I think we were looking at some paint or something. But we were in Home Depot, and all of a sudden, my leg gets weak. And we were at the paint station where they mix your paint for you. We were right there. They have the little bar stools up there so where they can wait to be served or whatever. So we were walking around up there, and my left leg for some reason started giving out, and I was falling, and thank God the chair was close enough for me to grab onto the chair before I hit the ground. And the worker came over, the one that was mixing the paint for us came over to assist us. And so after that, I started noticing just little things, different things about myself, where I hadn't noticed it before. I started noticing that, in my walking, just different things I started noticing. And so when I go to the doctor again, of course, I got to report what happened. The doctor tells me, well, try not to have to walk so far, because you certainly can't afford to be falling. And I don't even know how it came about, but he was like, you need to get a handicap parking permit so you don't have to walk so far when you go out. And I was like, no, I'm not going to do that, because I don't want anybody to, know what's going on with me or whatever. I said, I'm not going to do that. But my daughters, they were like, so eventually I broke down and I got one. And I always used to hide it. If I visited someone, I would hide it. If I went, when I would go to church, I would hide it. If I went to the store, I would put it up on the mirror. As soon as I got in the car, I would take it back down and put it in my glove box, because I thought that for some reason, I allowed myself to believe that people would think that something was like wrong with me, so I wouldn't allow anybody to know that I even had it. So when I went to get it, I didn't know they put your name on the thing. I'm like, they put my name on this thing, I was mad. But what I didn't know was that I didn't foresee what was coming down the line, but God knew. I didn't foresee me having to go back through surgery again. I didn't foresee them finding out about the second type of brain tumor I had. I didn't foresee any of that, coming up rather quickly in my future the way it did. So when I first, like I said, when I first had to get the placard, I was just embarrassed. I was like, I don't want people to think that I'm getting old or something like that, And then I was watching a show, and I think I was watching Housewives of Atlanta, something I was watching. And they were making fun of one of the ladies who had a handicap placard because of her husband was sick. And that just bothered me even more. I was like, nah. So anyhow, now, because I've gone through as much as I've gone through, and I absolutely appreciate God's hand in keeping me, I don't care who know I got the thing. What gets me though is sometimes when people see me get out of my vehicle, particularly if I got on, heels or my boots or what have you, they looking like, you don't deserve to park there, and I look at them like, mind your business, So, so when I first had to get this, I was like, oh my God. So, like I said, I didn't know they put your name on the thing. So here's my, I call it my VIP pass for parking. So I've had this for years now. Ever since, I think, 2017, I've had this. On the bottom of it is my name and all that good stuff. So, because there are times now, like a couple of weeks ago, I was in Publix by myself. After running errands for the whole day, I got in Publix and got completely dizzy. I literally had to call my daughter. And even though I drove my own vehicle, I had to call her. I had finished shopping. I was getting ready to check out. So I went ahead and checked out. And then at our Publix, when you come out the door, they have this long cushioned benches there. Excuse me. So I was sitting out there waiting on her. And so we put the groceries in my vehicle, and she just followed me home, make sure I got home safely, because Publix is like literally across the highway from my house. So it's things like that I still have to deal with even today, So if I know I didn't get a good night's sleep, or if I know I had a headache the day before, I try not to do too much running around or go too far off by myself or what have you, because I do have the propensity to go, 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 go. And then my body is like, I told you we weren't doing all that today, So when I got the placard, I like I said, it took me a while not to feel like ashamed to use it, because what I had been dealing with was people saying, "Oh, you don't look like," you know. So, and um, it's hard to tell a story when people are looking at you like they don't believe you. It's really difficult. But my story never changes, and it's not going to change. And I'm going to keep telling it to the glory of God. Particularly during this time. This is Brain Tumor Awareness Month, and it's also Mental Health Awareness Month. Now, let me pivot real quick. When it comes to mental health, all of this took a toll on my mental health. And I'm not going to even pretend like it didn't. But I think the hardest hit to my mental health was when my daughter died suddenly. I That's something I didn't come back from. I don't think I'm still recovered from that. Not completely, I'm not. I still find myself really grieving for her. So I had someone tell me one time, I think it was her, she had been dead 3 years by then, because this year made 5 years. And it still feel like it's not real. I don't know how else to tell you guys, but I think it had been around the 3rd year. And this preacher was like, well, you should be over mourning that, like, what? So I asked this individual, I say, have you ever lost a child? No. Have you ever buried a child? No. Then shut the hell up telling me how to grieve for my child. Because until you've been there, don't ever tell me that I should be over missing her. I should be over mourning her. I should be over grieving her. I should just focus on the good part of her life. Child, please. So this year she would be turning 40. And every day I still miss her every day. every day. I still miss her. So I have that grief. I have all my own stuff I deal with, and then my mom dies suddenly, right before Mother's Day and her birthday, and it's just like, I remember when my mom passed away, just 2 years ago. I told my sister, she's on now. I told my sister, I said, um, because we've always had our parents. Even when my dad died, we still had our mom. And I told my sister, I'm like, I know I'm 50 something years old, but all of a sudden I feel like an orphan, like we have no parents left. All we have is each other. We don't have any parents left. And it really hit me. But can I tell you, I still have not properly grieved for my mother yet? You want to know why? Because I can only grieve for one person at a time. And right now, I'm still grieving for my daughter. And you can say, well, you just said it's been 5 years. I wouldn't give a cribble crabbit if I told you it was 20 years. She is my daughter, my firstborn. So my mom was my only parent left. So I wish I had the diagram. I could show you how they're buried together. So my mom is buried here. Diagonally, my daughter is buried here. And then you keep going diagonal all the way to the back. My dad is buried there. So, and then my daughter's paternal grandfather is buried all the way in the back over there. She always wanted to be buried between her two grandfathers. And that's what we did. So she's buried between this. If you go this way, she's buried between my mother, my daughter, and then my father. If you go this way, she's buried between my mother, my daughter, and then her paternal grandfather. So, when someone is grieving, I think that if you're not sure what to say, just don't say anything. Maybe just hug them. Maybe just hold them. Maybe just send them a card. Maybe just send them some flowers. Send them an edible arrangement or something, saying I'm thinking of you. I know this is a hard time. Anybody that knows me knows from March is hard. April, because she died in March. We buried her in April. My mom died in May. Her birthday is in June. My daughter's birthday is in November. So those are the times where I'm grief and depression is most heaviest for me. And I'm not going to say those are the time I need you all to pray the most. I don't need you to pray for depression, because depression is not a spirit. Okay? Trust me, it's not a spirit. It's not. It's not a spirit. So those are the times that I find myself, dealing with battling depression the most. We're in the month of May. So May has been extremely emotional for me. It's been really difficult for me. So, and I make no excuses. I make no apologies. None of that. I am who I am, and it's by the grace of God that I'm still here. Some of you heard my story about 2007, how they told me I only probably had a few weeks to live. I think I told you guys that. So the next time we're together, Um, Now I hope everybody took a screenshot of the information on the strokes I put up, so you can have that. Put it up somewhere so you can have that information on hand. I don't know what that is. I don't want to show you that because I don't know what that is. Let's see. You can't go through all the stuff that I've been through and not expect for your mental to be challenged in some way, And I think how you fare during those times, how you fare during those times will depend on how you handle your depression, how you handle that anxiety, how you handle whatever you're going through. Because for a long time, I would just hide mine. I would hide it. I would never talk about it because the most I've heard church talk about was a spirit, so I would never openly talk about it. But then when I started studying psychology and started understanding the brain and things of that nature, it was then I learned that the church had really done a disservice by just lumping all mental illness as some type of spiritual mishap or some type of demonic activity going on, or you just need to get a closer walk with Jesus, or you need more of the Holy Ghost, what have you, when none of that was true, So when it comes to mental illness and mental health, we really got to be more educated because we're just guessing, and most of the time, even when we make an educated guess, we still sound foolish. So I would that people take a course or something, get some kind of knowledge on mental health before you try to get up there and start preaching and labeling everything as demonic. Okay. So something else I want to show y'all, but I can't really see it that well until I get my new eyes put in. Hold on. I don't see it. Maybe I didn't upload it like I thought I did. All right, I'm gonna get off of here. Maybe I didn't upload it like I think I did. All right. I'm gonna put the stroke information up again. I think that's important. Let me put that up one more time before I close. These are stroke symptoms. Remember, recognize, and act fast. Fast is for your face. Ask them to smile. Does one side look like it's drooping? Remember, I showed you my face after I had the stroke. I don't mind showing you one more again. You can see here. You can see my face. See how my face goes to one side there. I was cute now. Don't get me wrong. My hair always stayed slayed now. Don't try it now. But you can see my face. Okay, so the F is face. Then A is arm. Instruct them to raise both arms. Does one arm drift downward? Remember, I told you when I was in the hospital, that's how they determined I was having a stroke. And then speech. Ask them to say something. Does it sound strange? Does it sound blurred? slurred. Does it sound slurred? Like I can tell when some of the residual effect is still there. Like my daughter might say, "Mom, why you sound like that?" It doesn't mean that I'm having another stroke. It just means that that's some of the residual damage from the strokes that I had. So, and then T is time. If you observe symptoms, call 911 immediately. Don't wait. Call them immediately, because time is always going to be of the essence. Time, if you get a person there in time, I promise you, you can save their life. Also, if you get them there in time, you can also minimize the damage done to the brain. My case, unfortunately, we don't know how long I was having the stroke in my sleep. So that's the only thing. We could not determine how long I had been having a stroke in my sleep. So what we can determine now that we are at this point is that there is permanent damage from the number of strokes that I did have. I'm gonna show it to you again. Let's see, is that it? No, that's not it. It's this one. So, and you can see it's where the white circle is. It's where the white circle is. That's the area that has permanent damage. And so what area that controls, for me, what I noticed that it affects, I think it affects my recall sometimes, because sometimes I find myself searching for my words, or sometimes I can, if I don't write it down, I'm going to forget about it. It's the little things that I notice, and at first I just thought it because I was getting older. I'm 55, so I just thought it was an age thing. But then when I was talking to my neurologist, he was explaining to me, I was asking him different questions, and I was like, I said, I thought all of this would, excuse me, take away all the headaches. He was like, you got a lot going on in your brain, honey. When he was looking at all of my scans, he was like, these scans look like the scans of a 70-year-old Caucasian man. He says, I don't even know how you're sitting here. By the grace of God, that's all I can tell you, by the grace of God. So then we determined, so I have to see a neurologist, endocrinologist, I have to see an optometrist, I have to see a neuro-ophthalmologist, and now I have to see a surgeon. So I'm gonna skip about real quick. So after all the surgeries, I'm gonna skip about, then another time I go back to that. Had radiation. Radiation went fine, as far as I know. I don't know a lot about that day because I don't remember anything about that day. I'm gonna have to talk to my brother and get some more information, because my brother was here and he took me. My brother came from Orlando and took me to radiation that day. He stayed with me and he brought me home. I was completely sedated, completely out. I don't remember anything. I don't remember anything. Let's see how long have I been on? Let's see. I'm gonna see if I got time to show y'all a video of the process that I went through for radiation. It's 6 minutes, 6.5 minutes long. Y'all want to see it? I'm going to go ahead and show y'all the video, okay? And then after that, we'll close, okay? So what I'm about to show you now is a video. It's going to show you the process I went through to have radiation. So after the radiation, we find out that my sight start looking funny, you know. So we find out, go to my optometrist, and she discovers I have cataracts really bad in both eyes. So then I go see the surgeon. He says, you're too young to have cataracts in your eyes this bad. What's going on? So I'm like, I don't know. I didn't know I had cataracts that bad in my eyes. I just know I got these, everything looks cloudy. And then sometimes it looks like white spots just flashing all the time. And when I'm out in the sun hit my eyes. I literally feel like somebody putting fire in my eyes. So we talked about getting some tint put on my vehicle, some dark tint. That's going to help. But then he started telling me about the surgery. So because at this point, the cataracts are so bad, the surgery is the only way to fix it. So we started going down everything that I had done. We went over all the medicines I take, everything. So we started going over the surgeries I've had. When we got to the radiation, he was like, oh, okay, that's it. If you had radiation to your brain, the radiation kicked you right into cataracts early. You're not supposed to have cataracts yet. But because you had radiation to your brain, it kicked you right over into having cataracts earlier than you normally would have it. He said, okay, now we know where the problem came from. Now let's talk about fixing it. All right. So I'm going to post something probably in my Facebook group. If you're not a member of my Facebook group, Live Talk with Bonita Bradley. Let's see if I can show you the group. You need to go join the group because there are things I post in my group that I don't post anywhere else. Let's see. I might save the video, y'all, till next time. Okay, can you guys see that? That's my group. All right, I need everybody to go join that group. Can you see that? I think am I taking it the right way? There we go. Live Talk with Bonita Bradley, a social media talk show. That's what it says. It's on Facebook. Okay, go and join that group because, like I said, a lot of stuff that I put on Facebook, I only put it in that group. Okay, and so I'm gonna put up an announcement of talking about my about the surgery. Okay, the first surgery is June the 14th. The next surgery is June 21st. Okay. So they're going to do my right eye first because my right eye is my dominant eye. And then they're going to do my left eye. Okay. My left eye is really bad. I mean, real bad, y'all. So I'm going to put up an announcement in my group. And I think I may put it on my YouTube channel as well. I'm going to save the video, okay? So don't forget to go and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm on all social networks, okay? Wherever social media is, I'm there. Live Talk with Bonita, Live with Bonita, Live Talk with Bonita Bradley. Just look for it. Look for this picture right here, okay? If you see that, that's me, all right? Anything outside of that, it ain't me, okay? Thank you guys for tuning in. Next time I'm come on, you guys can ask me questions, send questions to my inbox. If you want to help support the show, you can do so. The show has its own Cash App now. So if you want to support the show, you can send you can there's the Cash App information and the PayPal information. Like I said, the show now has its own Cash App. So if you want to support the show, you can do so by sending your donations to the Cash App or the PayPal address there. Excuse me. So, um, let's see. Good night. It must be my sister. She don't want to call me baby. Um, y'all, I lost my thought. Oh, okay. So if you want to support the show, you can send in any amount to the show has its own Cash App. You can send any amount to the show. Help get new equipment, stuff like that. Okay. I do have a registry list that I'll post in the show. And I also post it on my YouTube channel of equipment that I want to get for the show. Okay. All right. I think that's it. I'm gonna close. And I'll be back. I might come back tomorrow. We'll see. It all depends on how my eyes hold up. If my eyes don't hold up, I can't be in front of these lights because, all of these lights, they're actually studio lights. So they're bright. So I have to judge it day by day, That's why it's hard for me right now to plan ahead for a show. I just have to take it day by day. If I'm having a good day, and then I'm like, okay, I'll do a show. So that's how I'm doing that. So hopefully, I do know I'm supposed to be getting my tent done after the surgery. So that will help out a lot because it's not only just my eyes in the sun, it also is the migraines. So my neuro ophthalmologist, he's the one that measures the pressure in my eyes and all that stuff. He looks at the eyes from behind the scene, if you will. So he has given me a permit to get my tint darker than what's allowed because of the fact that the sun it triggers migraines really bad for me. So what else? That's it. So look for any announcement. If you're in the group, look for new announcements. If you're on my YouTube channel, look for new announcements, okay? You guys have been absolutely wonderful. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you guys next time. All right? Bye-bye.